Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name's Deshaun and today I'm here to give you my review of a new Netflix series that just came on not that long ago. I believe it was January 25th, so maybe last week or... Sorry, AC, heat's on, if you might hear it in the background, so sorry for that noise, but I'm here to review a new Netflix series called Kingdom. Now, Kingdom is another foreign film. I've been reviewing a lot of a lot of films made it, I've been reviewing a lot of British shows. I think I reviewed and no, actually I haven't, but anyways, the show is called The Kingdom, and now the Kingdom is a zombie show, or at least a zombie plague show. See, I'd probably say in the last few years there's been a good distinct difference between zombie shows and plague shows. Not just zombie shows, the zombie genre and a plague genre. I would say that 28 days and 28 weeks later is really a plague, because it's not the traditional zombie apocalypse as you think of it. And I'd consider, and there's certain things like that I would consider. Take for instance, The Last of Us. I consider that a plague. Granted, the people who are infected by those spores or those funguses act in a very similar way to zombies, and it spreads to a very similar way to zombies, but it's not exactly the same. So I would consider this show a mixture of both. Now, the show, it's a period piece. It takes place somewhere in China. I believe it takes place in China. I believe. I could be completely wrong about that. I probably am completely wrong about that. But the way they talk about the Japanese attacking, it makes me think, okay, this might be somewhere in China. But anywho, it's either China, it's Asia. It's in Asia somewhere. It's in Asia, okay? I'm just saying Asia somewhere. But it's a period piece that takes place. And the story follows this prince. And I cannot completely remember the prince's name off the top of my head. But this prince who's like the crown prince. And his father is very sick. His father is very ill. At least that's what you know in the beginning. His father's very ill. He hasn't seen his father in a little while. No one has seen his father in a little while. But before his father got ill, he had recently married a woman around the same age as him, which he kind of thinks is hilarious. But he had recently married a young woman. And gotten her pregnant. But happenstance, this young woman's family hates the king and hates how everything is ruled. So they want the prince gone. So when the baby comes, then they'll be basically right in the path to rule. And since it's a baby, then the queen will rule, and then she will just appoint her father as the ruler, and then then her family can basically rule over the kingdom. Wherever their kingdom is, the father can just rule over it. So there is this bit of conspiracy. There's this bit of, it's kind of a political. There's a bit of a political thriller aspect of the show, like a period piece, political thriller of people trying to get power and what they want, and cut through people trying to get power. But then this is the only thing I'm going to spoil. But shocking alert! The son, the crown prince, is like, I want to see my father. One day he's so anxious to see his father, and he knows, but he figures out that what they're trying to do. He figures out, they're trying to kill. He figures out they're gonna kill me the moment that this baby's born, so that they can rule. And my father's the only thing keeping them from killing me. And he's like, I want to see my father. And he starts to make preparations, let's just say. I don't want to spoil what the prince ends up doing, because you'll see, to preserve his life. But he wants to see his father. He goes to see his father, and and something is bizarre is happening. Turns out his father not only was very, very sick, because he ends up getting the medical records. His father's dad died, but the queen's father, who wants to rule everything, went to this place, this special place, and found this resurrection plant, or this plant that has been known to resurrect. Now, there's not a lot of this plant, and this plant grows in this one little special location, but he went and found it, and he brought the king back to life. Now he didn't know that the king would become essentially a zombie. And that's what happened. The king became a zombie, but he's using this to be like, the king's still alive. He's just sick. He's got this crazy rabid sickness, but he's still alive. So that way, until that baby is finally born. Prince figures out what's going on. Prince flees to go find evidence. That there's conspiracy going on and kill him. And kill him. He's going to find evidence of what the hell's going on with his father. He flees with his bodyguard and he's on the run. So that's most of the story. You're following the prince and him trying to discover where this plague what happened to his father, where this plague came from, and he's trying to track down this doctor. But fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna rewind a little bit because the first scene you see is this doctor going to medically look at the king, because I'm assuming because they just gave him the flower. He had kind of been reanimated, but they didn't know what was going on with him. Like, well, he's alive, and they didn't know what was going on with him. One of the doctor's servant boys got killed by the king because he's a freaking rabid dog. Basically he's a zombie. And then the doctor, conflicted, just takes the body back to his place, and there's all these villagers, because he's a doctor. He's kind of a Robin Hood-ish doctor, helping out people who in need. And there's this one guy there who's kind of a lone badass. That's kind of the way they play him up. Who's like, well, they won't let us hunt for food, which I never knew that was a thing. Which it might have been a thing. I was talking to Seth about it, and he was like, it might have been a thing, like that they had to actually get permission to hunt for food. So a lot of those villagers and people who were staying there were starving. So he had the wild idea to just, fuck it, I'm gonna cut this body up. I'm gonna feed them this dead body, and they're never gonna know the difference. And I'm not gonna tell them that they eat a dead body. They're just not gonna know the difference. Because he said, because he told this one girl working there who's like one of the lead medical women in the field. He told her, he was like, look, they're gonna starve. I don't think they care what they eat, man. He's like, you have to do what it takes to survive. And that is the beginning of the zombie outbreak, because that body was attacked by the king. So all those people who ate it died. Almost like 5 minutes later, they all died. And then they all came back. And then they all came back at night. This zombie show is unique to me, because first of all, it's a period piece. So imagine how hard fighting the zombie apocalypse would be now with guns. You've seen how hard it is when we have cars and guns and firearms and technology to our disposal, how difficult it is. Now imagine fighting zombies when all you have is swords and bow and arrows. Swords, bow and arrows, and muskets. That would just be so difficult, and they make it difficult. First of all, these zombies are unique, because these zombies have certain things that these zombies do are stereotypical, but then there are things about these zombies that are unique. First of all, these zombies run. They book it, they run. I mean, they book it hard at you, and they swarm. And I know all zombie movies have zombies swarm, but these zombies book it. You never know zombie swarm until you fucking on a horse trying to get away from people running as fast as they can at you. Being in a car trying to get away and being on a horse are two totally different things. But yeah, these zombies swarm, and they swarm fast. 2, if they bite you, you turn pretty quickly. You turn within 15 minutes. Within 10 minutes, you die. Within 10 seconds, you die. Within 5 seconds, you are reanimated, about to eat someone. Like, it's very, very quick. It does not take too long. It's not 28 weeks later. 28 days later quick, where all they gotta do is scratch you. Within like 2 seconds, you're already changing. It's not that fast, but it's pretty fast. But the thing that makes these zombies interesting, and now it kind of goes with the fungus thing. Are they really zombies in terms of they're just these undead creatures? Or are they more fungus? Because the thing inside of them, whatever the flower does to them, because it's like the flower's changing their entire inside of their body rapidly. Whatever it does to them, they go to sleep at night. They tuck away inside of a place at night, and when the day comes up, like vampires, they just run. They run, nowhere to be seen. They just scramble to the darkest corners they can find, to the most darkest locations that they can find. They crawl together to the point where they crawl so hard together that when you first discover this, that they crawl together to dark places when the sun comes up. Like, the guy was pulling them out, and he was pulling all of them out because they like mashed themselves together. It was nasty the way they did it. And it was like the way that it worked. It was as if there was a living organism inside of them other than just the body. It was as if some kind of organism took over their bodies, and it's not a fond of sunlight. because that's what happened. Like, you know, the organism took over the, like, and at night they rise, during the day they find dark corners. And like, I know what you're thinking, because it's the same thing I thought. I was like, oh cool, all right, this will be an easy zombie apocalypse to wrap up. I mean, during the day they can't do shit, just gather up all the bodies and burn them. But the problem is they go all over to the darkest corners of the fucking land. So you finding them all, good luck. Like, they tried to. Like, literally, there's a part where he's like, okay, find all the bodies. Like, we can't, man. We've only found like 20. There was like 100 zombies running around. We only found like 20 of them, man. There's no way we can find them. And then you got those, like, there's a whole bunch of political figures who think they know better. People don't want to believe you. You got scumbags. It's got all the traditional tropes of zombie. It's funny, for all the original stuff that it does, it has traditional tropes. You have the brave leader, the prince. You have the lone badass this lone badass who once was a part of a badass group, but is not anymore. But he's found a heart and he's here, and they don't know if they can trust him or not. But you know they can, because he's a good guy. He's just done some shitty shit in his past. They got the vet. They got the comedical, the almost funny veteran who's seen war, who's a good man. They've got the nurse who knows her medicines and also heal people. They have a lot of the almost zombie video game trope that you would see. The medic, the badass, the brave leader, the old veteran. Like, they got those video game tropes down. They got, like, it's really down. But you don't really notice it until they're all together, what it's going on. But like, I dig this show, Kingdom. I think they said there's a season 2 coming out. I dig it. You know, if you're a fan of Walking Dead seasons 1, 2, and 3, you're gonna dig it. If you're a fan of zombie stuff, you're gonna dig it. Now, like I said, they do the liberty, like, there are voice actors for this, so you can actually watch it without having to, you know, read subtitles. I mean, you can read the subtitles, because the subtitles will match up better than the actual voice actors will match up. But, you know, I still think it works, man. I like it. The zombie kills are gnarly. They don't hold anything back, man. Now, I will say, the show can get a little silly sometimes, but, like, the zombie apocalypse can only go two ways. If you can take it completely and utterly, unstoppably, deadly serious, or you can kind of take the Resident Evil route where it's serious, but there's still kind of some hilarious, like, kind of like over the top things about it. And then the show does the same thing. And like I said, I dug this show, man. I really did. It has good drama. It has some good mystery behind it. The zombie kills are scary. Like, when the zombies are, I'm telling you, man, it is scary as shit. When you see a swarm of these zombies running after just some villager, just trying to run away from them, it is terrifying. And I think they do a great job of capturing the terrifyingness of a zombie swarm. I think it's an original idea. I think it's very inspired. I've never seen a zombie apocalypse taking place in a time period like this. And it's interesting. It really is. It's interesting to just watch. So there's only about 6 episodes, about 5 hours apiece. Check it out when you get the chance. Kingdom on Netflix. It's zombie apocalypse and like feudal freaking Asia somewhere. So thank you for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch the zombie stuff.